Hi everyone, James here. This is a look inside the box of Gecko Models 1/35th scale, the Austin Katy ambulance. I think there is a licensing issue, hence why it's called the well-known Katy, the limited edition special unboxing, and some will know and some won't, as you're in a different country, but Elizabeth II, the Queen of the United Kingdom, passed away on the 8th of September 2022, and this will be my tribute and to pay respect also. It does come with a figure of Princess Elizabeth before she was made the Queen. At the time I think she was 19 and she was training to be a mechanic, and she worked on the ambulance, and there was a little vehicle called the Tilly truck also. So on the front there is the image of the Austin Katy ambulance, the scale, the manufacturer's name is down here, and just a caution saying it's not a toy, it's suitable for adults, modelers. Cement, the glue, the paint not included. The actual model may vary from the image on the box. This is a precision model kit which requires assembly. One figure included, that's Princess Elizabeth. And the model kit also includes photo etch parts and decals. So onto the side of the box, again you have the name, the well-known Katy or Austin K2, photo etch parts, the decals, and then the figure of Princess Elizabeth, and then just address the PO box of the manufacturer. And the other side you have the two decal options. They're the one that Princess Elizabeth was photographed next to, and the ice cold analytics, I believe, is the other option. Soon find out when I open the box. And then some CAD drawings of the kit assembled. There's nothing on the back. Just before we look inside, I did buy this intentionally for this build, as it does feature Princess Elizabeth before she was made the Queen next to the ambulance. This is at the Imperial War Museum's photography collection. It's the royal family in wartime, and there is a few pictures when she was in the vehicle maintenance class. Again, there's another one there. Just a few more here as well. And a nice colour photograph for some good reference also. To take the box off, I've just took it all the way off, as it was difficult because it's just one half of a box for the front, and you get this white box within the box with the flap that opens up with all the contents. So you get the photo etch and the decals, the instruction book with the paint guide and the equipment guide to painting Queen Elizabeth, or Princess Elizabeth at the time, before she was made the Queen. A guide to painting the equipment as well. And so the instruction book. And then you get 6 separate bags of the parts to build up the ambulance. Sorry, it was 8. There's 2 hiding. That's the tyres. Let's go to start off with sprue bag A. And this is the bed on the back of the ambulance for the patients and the wounded. Parts are got crisp and clean, there's no flash. There is texture of the outside. Same again for this. The sides are textured. Now moving on to sprue bag B. There is 2 duplicates, so I'll only show one. This is now sprue bag C. Next is sprue bag D. Again, there's two duplicates of the same, so I'll only show you one again. Next are the tyres. There is two bags, and again I'll just show you one. Next is the figure and the equipment. Last bag of sprues, again there's four of the same, so I'll just show the one. Next, the decals. Then the photo etch. You do also get some wire for the brake lines. Here is the suggested colours for the figure and the equipment. Lastly, the instructions. there is several languages of the brief history about the ambulance. So turning the page, you have just read before assembly, suggested tools and icon instructions, just telling you whether to remove, open or hide holes. Next you have the sprue parts list, then with the decals, photo etch, the hose and the tyres, 5 of them there, times 5. Starting off, steps 1 through to 7 is the chassis assembly, adding the suspension or the bracing for the chassis. Also, steps 5 and 7 is adding the tyres to the hubs and axles. Then 7 you're adding the wheels assembled to the chassis. And then 8 is the engine assembly. 9 and 10 is still some engine assembly, and then you're applying the engine to the chassis or the exhaust. Step 11 is, I'm guessing, showing you the correct alignment and position of the exhaust. 12, you're adding the front axle and backs of the hubs or brakes in the steering rack. Over the page, 13 is more steering rack assembly. Again, showing you where to position the hose to the back of the, I'm guessing, a drum brake. Some more tyre and rim assembly on steps 14. Step 15 is the option to have the tyres and the wheels posed left or right, or straight if you wanted to. 16 is the fuel tanks being assembled and then being added to the brackets, and then again adding to the chassis. 17 and 18 is the assembly of the rear step and then adding to the back of the chassis. 19 is adding photo etch to the grille and placing the radiator behind the grille. 20 and 21, you're adding the grille and radiator to the front of the engine and then adding on the mudguards and bumper. 21 is the storage box with the seat on top. 22 and 23 is the floor pan or plate. It's telling you to add the seats with the storage box onto there. Then the assembly of the driving position, adding the steering column, the steering wheel, got the fire extinguisher there. accelerator, brake and clutch. '24 is some details being added to the engine bay, and then going in to the cab of the ambulance is adding the decal dials and data plaque. Steps 25, you're adding those two sub-assemblies together, the interior floor plate and the dash, as well as the engine bay also. It's 26 is the position where the cab goes, or the bottom half of the cab sits onto the chassis, and you have the bracing going down also for the bonnet. And there's a top-down view of the bracing. Steps 27 is the start of the bonnet, got the side pieces. Steps 28, you're now assembling the sides of the bonnet and the top. You could, if you wanted to, pose one of the sides open to show the engine off. 29, you're adding the headlights, the various other markers. 30 is the assembly. I'm not too sure what that is. And there's some more sub-assemblies for jerry cans and a water can also. Just saying there, it's water. 31 is now the assembly of the back. You're starting with the underside, storage boxes and some bracing. It's 32 with sub-assemblies. You're making up the stretchers and the racks for the jerry cans and water cans, and then placing them underneath the bottom of the bed, and then you're gluing the bed to the chassis. Steps 34 showing you the positions of the mud flaps and assembly, and also the assembly of the storage boxes. And that carries on to steps 35 also. As to repeat, left and right. '37 and 38 is still carrying on with the assembly of the back, and you're just adding the detail to the door. And again, there's options. You can either have it closed or open. And again, going back now to the cab and the driving area. Just briefly on your back, jumping back again to 41 and 42, you're adding the rails inside the back of the ambulance. For the stretchers, and it's just telling you there's options, either stretchers or I'm guessing that's seating. 44, 45 is now starting to add details to the top, or the back, the roof section. Still carrying on steps 46. Now jumping back again on steps 47 through to 49 and 50, that is more work on the stretchers. Just briefly again jumping back to the sides of the ambulance. You're adding the, I'm guessing, windows or vents. Steps 51 to 52. This is the, again, left or right side options, whether to have folded blankets or, I'm guessing, pillows. And then suggested colours. 53 is bringing all the sub-assemblies, the two sides and the top together. Steps 54, there is options, there's various layout of the back. 55, going back now to the front of the ambulance, starting to assemble the cabin area, the canvas sides. I'm guessing that's an option. You can either have them drawn across or you could have them folded. .56 and 57 is the front windscreen. .59, 60 and 61 is the back of the ambulance. There is options for, again, as I said, you can either have them open or closed. Just don't see why you would close them if you're going to include all the detail. You could at least have one open. And here just adding the mirrors to the ambulance. 62, last build step, is, to me, which they are folded stretchers. This is showing you here the completed ambulance with added photo etch. And then lastly, moving on, these two options. You can have the training centre, motor transport, or the ice cold in Alex movie version. That's been the 1/35th scale Gecko Models, the British ambulance. Thanks for watching.